Why are we represented or symbolic of the opposite of all this now? How in the world did the script get flipped on us? And now we are the poster child for savagery and for backwardsness. There's many reasons for this. But of those reasons is that we believed the accusation. We believed that our Islam was the reason. That's what held us back. Because we assumed that we were the same as Europe that was held back by their religion. And many people, even, there's this disease in the academic world, and we all see it in college sometimes, that just because someone's an expert on a certain subject, biology or history or otherwise, he automatically assumes he has the right to transplant his expertise and photocopy his degree for another specialty. And so you'll have a biology teacher will say, all religions are man-made. It's excuse me, kind sir, can I ask you a question? How many religions have you studied exactly to say all religions are man-made, right? And so the presumption is that every religion is like the Christian religion, right? That was made by man of a certain age, so it expired with the expiration of that age. That's if it was well-intending to begin with, and not used to control the masses. And so when Europe had its enlightenment, and it broke away from religion, because a few heretics decided, let's translate the Bible and figure out what it's saying, and hey, wait a minute, this Pope is saying esoteric, and doesn't matter what's here, just listen to me. And then, Martin Luther gets excommunicated, and you move forward, and then you have a scientific revolution now. After the last Muslim stronghold falls in 1492 in Gharnata, and many of the Muslim lands and the culture that lived there was benefited from, that is what triggered their renaissance and their liberation and the enlightenment. And then people realized they were living a lie, they were living a hoax, and they said, as Denis Diderot used to write, the French philosopher, man will never be free until you hang the last king with the intestines of the last priest. Yikes, right? And when he died, the French Revolution in the streets actually ran the streets with their pitchforks chanting that. Man will never be free until the last monarch, is strangled by the entrails of the last priest. Because they realized these two did a number on us. And then 100 years later, Karl Marx makes his famous statement that the religion is the opium of the masses. And so they say we are finally the liberated world, we're finally the modern world, we've finally been liberated from organized religion. And we're in a better place now. By the way, they are in a better place from where they were, in certain respects, definitely. But is the quality of life really better? Are they living more wholesome, happier, more secure lives? New York Times, maybe 8 months ago, just released a report regarding a study recently completed that the suicide rates in the United States, for example, they've reached an all-time high that they've never been at in the past 30 years. Killings and insecurities, broken homes, you name it, road rage, anxiety, antidepressants, from the opium of the masses, as we said, to the actual opium, all of that together, it has tore the society from within. And so in reality, they have not really become free. They've just moved from slavery to one set of rules, to slavery to another set of rules. And so even though they think they're the free world, they're still just slaves. Slaves of their biases, slaves of their clouded judgment, slaves of the limitations of human rationale that they over-depend on. And that's why they play trial and error with humanity. A good brother came to me and he reminded me that, in the medical journals until 72 or 73, in the DSMs, the diagnosing manuals, a person that had homosexual tendencies, right, would receive medication for this. And now it's how dare you say this is incorrect? Let's say you're correct now and you weren't correct back then. All these people that you told this is wrong, what have you done to their lives? Right? And so this shows you the inconsistency of their quote-unquote liberated values. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَن يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَكَأَنَّمَا خَرَّ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ فَتَخْطَفُهُ الطَّيْرُ. How depicting is this portrayal? Allah says, whomever sets equals to Allah, even if that be you, your mind, your intellections, whomever sets an equal to Allah, it's as if he's fallen out of the sky. And birds snatch him from every direction. He's being torn apart. And that's what we see in our civilization today. Such a high maintenance life. I have to run this way. No, I have to run that way. We were onto something. Red herring, it was a wild goose chase. And you go the other direction and generations suffer from this.